let's kick this hour off in the inimitable company of our West Coast and royal correspondent, Kinsey Schofield. Hi, Kinsey.
Hi, Kevin. I've missed you.
Yeah, good to see you. How are you feeling now? Last time we had you on, you weren't feeling very well.
I'm recovering. You're going to hear it in my voice a little bit, but I appreciate you asking. Thank you, sir.
Good, excellent. Now, let's kick off with quite an extraordinary story. So we've kind of come to accept or to believe that Meghan made a very sort of stateswoman-like decision not to attend the coronation because it would have turned the event into a circus and she didn't want to overshadow the king on his big day. Other speculation has been that perhaps she was a bit worried that the crowds might boo her, and so on and so forth. Well, now it turns out, or there is a new theory out now, that the reason she's not coming is she's very angry with the king, very upset with the king, because she wrote to him some time ago expressing her concerns about unconscious bias in the royal family. That's like being racist but not knowing you're being racist. And the king apparently replied to her letter, but she was not happy with his reply, not happy with the contents of what he said to her. And that's why she is not attending, because she's angry with the king. Can you believe this? I mean, Meghan, this is Meghan in all her lack of glory, isn't it?
Well, I think it's interesting that this came out in the Telegraph, which we know has had Sussex pro-Sussex related leaks in the past. Specifically, they had access to Harry's book Spare before anybody else did. Additionally, they were the ones that reported a few weeks ago that Prince Harry had attempted to see the king and was rejected when he was there for the Daily Mail trial. So I think it's a little suspicious that it's coming out in the Telegraph, almost as if it's Sussex approved or a Sussex specific leak. And then, you know, it's also strange to bring up the entire idea of race again so close to the coronation, as if it's a specific sabotage on the focus, which should be over the next few weeks, the king's coronation.
I mean, if this is the Sussexes, if this is coming out of Camp Sussex, as it were, and this is Meghan's idea of what makes her look good, I've got some bad news for her. This doesn't make her look good. This makes her look like kind of some sort of regal character who seems to have or feels she has the right to look down on His Majesty King Charles, you know, because King Charles, according to her, does not have the right attitude to unconscious bias.
Well, I think that you're coming at it from a UK perspective. And while I do believe that, you know, it's interesting that it came out in the Telegraph, somebody has specifically also spoken to Page 6 here in the States, which also the Sussexes deal with a lot through sources. You know, I think that ultimately their objective is to build their American brand, and victimhood is incredibly lucrative here in the States. And I do think that, you know, that's what her focus is to be considered, you know, the underdog in America, so that she can rise from the ashes, run whatever political campaign it is she wants to pursue, or sell whatever blender she's going to inevitably sell, like Fergie did.
Yeah, and I've heard you say before, and I read a piece in the weekend papers saying that actually brand Sussex in America has hit rock bottom. I mean, their brand is not doing well over there, so that might explain why she's racking up the spin doctoring, yeah?
Oh, I completely agree with you. I think that their brand is on life support, and they have executed everything that was, you know, in the barrel of the gun. You know, how long did we wait? How long did we, how often did we talk about when Harry's book could potentially come out? For like a year. We were like, oh, it's got this release date. Oh, then it's this release date. So, and then on top of that, the Netflix series, the dates on that kept changing and were extended out. There's really nothing that we're waiting for other than Meghan's new podcast, which I think season 2 will come out inevitably. I don't know when, but they've got to stir. They've got to keep the controversy stirred. They've got to stay in the conversation, or they'll become irrelevant.
Let me ask you this, Kinsey. What do you think? I would not put this past her. So the King's big day is May the 6th. That's when the coronation happens. Harry's going Meghan isn't. One of the reasons we're told that Meghan isn't going is because Archie is their kid. Archie's is his 4th birthday or something like that. It's his birthday anyway. I wouldn't put it past her, and I know that people at the palace are very worried about this, to post pictures of Archie's party to overshadow the big event.
I don't think it'll be that, Kevin. I think it'll be Kris Jenner. I think it'll be Ellen DeGeneres. I think it will be, you know, Oprah Winfrey or Gayle King. I don't think that Meghan would be so bold to do that because she always allows other people to do her dirty work, Kevin. It's never Meghan. She always allows other people to take the hits. Just like they said, they never called anyone racist. They might not have specifically called people racist, but they accepted an award for fighting racism within the royal family. So they allowed, you know, the Kennedy family and foundation to call the royal family racist. They allowed all of their friends like Tyler Perry to go on Netflix and call them racist. They never get their hands dirty. It'll be somebody else.
But it could happen, couldn't it? I mean, whoever posts those pictures of Archie's party, if they do, you know, poor old King Charles on his big day, he'll have to get used to sharing the front pages the next day.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. You know, they are so private with their children, so it would be absolutely, you know, in their wheelhouse to try to sabotage the entire event with some random back of the head photo of Archie.
Yeah, I'll bet. On that coronation, let's talk about the coronation generally. Extraordinary story. King Charles, I always thought he was wrong about this. He's got this idea he wants well, he's just looking at some rehearsals for the coronation now. He wants a slimmed down ceremony, so it won't go on for so long. The procession from Buckingham Palace to Westminster will be much shorter than previous coronations, and the congregation, most relevantly, will be cut down from 8,000 who attended his mum's coronation back in 1951, was it, 53, to 2,000. Now, since he's slimmed that congregation down to 2,000, apparently he spends half of every day writing to people to apologise for not being able to invite them because he's had to slim down the coronation guest list. Well, why did he slim it down in the first place? What, you know, majesty. We want majesty on this big day, don't we?
You know, well, first of all, those letters are going to be worth so much money in 100 words. So if you get one of those letters, hold on to it fiercely. Yeah, I mean, I understand what he's doing. We're in the middle of, you know, a
cost of living crisis, all that. Yeah.
Cost of living crisis. And I also think that, honestly, he's not globally accepted or globally very liked as an individual. He's a polarizing figure. And I think if he showed off too much, it would attract a lot of criticism. And I think he's trying to be really careful because he doesn't want to attract that criticism.
Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for my letter, by the way, because to everyone's great surprise, I was not invited. But I'm assuming...
It's because you're a heathen. You're a heathen.
Yeah, I think there would be a number of reasons I wasn't invited. But yeah, because he's had to slim down the coronation, so I'm waiting for my letter. But it does seem a bit ridiculous. And one of the people that he cut out of the ceremony was Lady Pamela Hicks, the daughter of his beloved uncle Mountbatten, Lord Mountbatten, a very close friend of the Queen. So he's written to her to say sorry he couldn't come. And I'll tell you what is the shame about her. She's in her 90s now. If she'd have gone, she'd have been the only person alive who'd been to 3 British coronations. She went to the one before Her Majesty the Queen when she was 8 years old. But, you know, he's having to write to people who are really close to him, you know, who should be there, I think.
Well, I would say that if I had it my way, I would give her Jill Biden's seat, because I think that Joe Biden, I'd rather not see Joe Biden there. If Joe Biden's not going to go, I don't feel like that's an appropriate you know, replacement. So just give her Jill Biden's seat.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Talking to people who aren't going, Fergie, you know, the Duchess of York, divorced wife of...
I saw your thoughts on this, Kevin. This is where we clash.
I think it's a nasty little snub. I'm no fan of Fergie. I'm no fan of Fergie. I mean, she's a disaster. She's a gauche, excruciating mess of a person who's embarrassing. And she's done a lot of harm to the royal family over the years, but never deliberately. I think she's good-spirited, but she can't stop sticking her foot into it all the time.
I really love that you brought up a foot, because that is usually what I associate with Fergie, but it's a face and a foot.
Anyway, I think that she should have been invited. You think she shouldn't be?
I don't, and I'll tell you why. Had she kept her mouth shut after the Queen died, I would think that she, she'd earned her spot back in the family. She'd been, a good girl. But the fact that she went on this media tour to promote her book and started talking about how the Queen's ghost was haunting the corgis, I mean, it's just an ill taste, and it's so weird. It is. It's just so strange.
Well, also this week she gave one of her regular, Prince Andrew is a really fine, great person, and everyone's got her wrong. No, we haven't, Fergie. You're the one who's got him wrong. Trust me. Yeah.